Thursday.
Hey Scott, not bad at all. Hey Jamie, how are you?
Hey Andy, hey Scott, hello everybody. Yeah, interesting day.
Yeah, it was. Good day for Holly, man. You'll have some stuff to talk about there, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. She came out swinging today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know she's been kind of inconsistent lately, but boy, the market hasn't been easy. You know, when you get these directional moves, it can get kind of nasty for uh, any strategies you may be using out there. But yeah, I thought she'd had a great day today. We'll talk about that for sure. I may actually talk about a couple of stocks before I hand it over to you. But thanks everybody for taking out some time of your day to join us. This is a trading studio. My name is Andy. That's Jamie and Scott. And let's just dive in. Before we do, let's go over the disclaimer here. We are content publishers here at Trade Ideas. This is for educational purposes only. So even though we'll talk about some neat setups and some toss around maybe some ideas, nothing should be construed as investment advice. That's not our purpose here. If you are looking for that, seek out a registered advisor or a stockbroker, somebody that hangs that license that can legally provide that information for you. All right, the agenda for today. Excuse me, let me give me a drink of water real quick. Market recap as usual. Holley recap. Jamie will take over there and handle the Holley recap. And I'm going to go over the TOW from this week. I know we say, you know, if it doesn't trigger by Wednesday, we don't count it as far as, in other words, it's what's called a no trade, or you know, no signal or trigger, whatever you want to say. But there's still ideas, you know, you need to keep, you know, on your blotter. Maybe put a price alert on there or whatever. Anyway, because Ride had a great move today, and the chart was still setting up really nicely. So we'll talk about it. We'll take a look at Ride today. I did participate in that one, and yeah, I was happy I did. I built a berry channel today. We added some unusual strong option volume, both upside and downside. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with that if you've been in the room. If you haven't, it may be something that you want to start paying attention to, especially for the day traders. But a lot of these stocks can end up having a 2 or 3 day move. So I'm not going to say it's only for day traders, that's for sure. But a lot of momentum traders like trading this stuff. So we're going to show you the new berry channel that you should have access. You may have to refresh, reconnect, or whatever like that, but you should have access to this new berry channel. All right. Strength alerts. We're going to talk about that. Just you guys, I'm seeing a lot of good trades, you know, in there, a lot of good setup. So we're going to talk about how you may want to, you know, keep an eye on these strength alerts and maybe some areas. When the market gets crazy like this, you know, maybe you have a contrarian strategy where you look for sell-offs and buy them on support or moving averages or something like that. But the ones this week so far are doing really good, so we'll go over them and give you some ideas of how you may trade them. Then of course the price alert game. You know what? I was busy today and I didn't even get a chance to look at it, so we'll be looking at it together. See how this was like a 2 weeks game since we're doing these bi-weekly now. So I'd be interested to look in there and see how everybody fared, especially with that nasty pullback we had. All right, let's go on and talk more about our 5-star support education and training for the new people in here, or maybe people that are considering getting the software, but they're a little intimidated. Guys, we want you to know that we have your back. We're not going to leave you hanging out there. We provide lots of resources for you to get help. You can see here the different webinars we had. These are not weekly now. We do one every Monday and Wednesday, and then the following week we'll do the Tuesday and Thursday schedule. But you'll get an email letting you know when it's coming up, and so you won't be, as long as you're signed up for webinars, you won't miss them. And then our support webinar. Let's go. Before I do that, the trading room, guys. I know it's a trader's room, but Barry is in there. He knows the software as well as any of us, if not better. and he is there to help you. So when things get slow and maybe trading slow down, be sure to ask Barry if you have any questions. He's happy to help you. And then from every Monday through Friday at 12 Eastern time, we take over Barry's live stream, and this would be our support webinar, daily support webinar. So that's the best place to come if you have a question and you need something to be shown to you how to do it, okay? Because we have a chat where you can ask your question, and then you're viewing our desktop so we can show you what you need to do, you know, to remedy whatever issue you might be having. So great place to come, once again, every weekday, Monday through Friday at 12 Eastern time. All right, I'll save this last slide for Scott, and let's pull up the SPY here and look at the crazy action that we've had. If I can grab this corner here, get it, there we go. Crazy action that we've had over the last couple of days, and actually, let's say the last week. It's been pretty. Let me pull up my Epic pen, guys. I'm sorry. I think I'd be better prepared. While I'm doing that, I can shut down this Englishman that I get from IB telling me about my connection. All right, so we broke, I guess it's last Friday, you know, the 50 period moving average. Okay, this is an average that we've been holding for quite a long time now, and I'm just going to show you the most recent one over the last 4 or 5 months, and it even goes further back than that. Okay, so finally on Friday we broke and closed below it. Now, you always hear me say I'd like for something to trade maybe 4 or 5 days below a moving average, you know, to really be considered a confident break. Kind of like over here, this was very similar to our close right there, and we bounced back the following day and was off to the races. This time, not so much. We had a very ugly opening on Monday, sold off in the last 30 minutes of the day. The algos, whatever, the buyers, the buy the dippers, whatever it was, they came in, they popped this thing back up. But the following day after that, we tried to gap up and actually closed lower than this day. So I'm sure a lot of bulls were nervous, and lo and behold, what we did, we bounced right back up into these moving average. We were well above them at one time today. We did pull back on the close still right above the 50 period moving average, and also the 10 period moving average. But that's still close, you know. I'm still not comfortable, you know, being long, big time long right now. My style of trading, I've been short some, I should say short, I've been long some SPXS for some time now. I started back over here somewhere when we started kind of just going sideways. And what I like to do, I like to maintain that position, and then what I do is I pretty much scalp, you know, on these days going like this. JB sees me do it all the time in our fund that we trade. That's me personally. You know, I want to stay short this market in case we are putting in a top, but at the same time, I'm not stupid. I want to, when I have profits, I don't want to get out of my short, but I still will play longs sometimes for a day trade. Not too much over a couple of days right now. I just don't trust this market over a couple of days. It seems like, you know, every time we go through a high, we just really have a hard time. We don't stay very long, and we pull back. We just don't have a whole lot of you know. So my time horizon right now, as far as longs go, is pretty quick. That's me personally, and not. I'm doing the market recap while I'm telling you about my personal trading. I don't know. I think some people, well, they tell me anyway, they like to hear it, but so a lot. And also we have the kind of the trend line here, and that's kind of right where we ran into today. Okay, so we did get above the 50. We ran right into this trend, so that's kind of an area I'd be watching if we can get break above that trend. And then all we got to deal with then is the 20 period moving average. But since our high back over here, we can say we are in a downtrend for maybe 3 weeks. But long-term picture, guys, is still very bullish. If you look at the long-term, even though, you know, we're waffling around and breaking below this 50 every now and then, where, you know, the long term is still in a very strong uptrend. All right, let me pull up the cues real quick and take a look at those. And kind of the same picture there, still kind of hit that downtrend line, even though it did close below that 10-period moving average, but above the 50. IWM, earlier when I looked at it, it was one of the strongest, and it was. Even though it hasn't gone anywhere in months, all year basically. You know, this IWM has not done anything. Relative strength today was there in the IWM, finished up almost 2%. So probably why you had a lot of those smaller cap stocks having a nice little push today. That's always good to see when you see that. All right, Jamie, I'm not going to look at the Dow. So anything you want to add? I think
well, you covered it pretty thoroughly there, Andy. We'll just have to see what she does tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. I think time will tell for sure. We need to you know, break this kind of downtrend and stay above these 2 moving averages, because not a lot of volume today. You can still see the volume was on the downside, but hey, this has been doing this way for years, so it doesn't surprise me. Price is the only thing that pays, but still, we'll have to see how it works itself out here in the next couple of days.
Yeah, we get a nice grind up tomorrow and higher close. Well, that would be good for the bulls. If we sell off and close below that 50, well, hey, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Why is my moderator? Okay, there we go. Gosh. Yeah, before I pass it over to you guys, some things that if you were noticing today, 2 of the best trades were CF from a bullish pullback, and LXU. Well, these are both fertilizing chemical. So Holley had 2 great calls in that industry today. So if you saw one go off like 850, okay, and was doing very well today, and then all of a sudden this LXU from Volume Doesn't Lie, one that I gave when I first came on, this Volume Doesn't Lie, which is funny because I haven't pulled this thing up in 5 years, you know, my base strategy that I wrote. And so I pulled it up to date. I'm going to save that for next week. We don't typically give out our strategy, but just remember that this is something that I did and I gave to Holley. Once I give it to Holley, she does all sorts of things with it. Okay. But next week, I'm going to pull this out because I think it's a great little interesting alert type. You know, it's just used, the strong volume is the alert. So these things can fire off anywhere. So in other words, you saw this LXU today, it fired off down here. So it wasn't even anywhere near a new high. It fires off, and then it had a nice move after that. So I'm going to dig that up, and we're going to play around with it next week. And I think it'll be fun. And of course, I'll share it with you guys. And of course, you can do whatever you want to with it. But I think it could be a nice little window for you. But I didn't have time today. I pulled it up 30 minutes before I came in here, and I said, wow, this is interesting. I'm gonna pull this up and play around with it for next week. But anyway, if you were paying attention, take a look sometimes at, you know, you can go into the profile and see when you see these companies coming through, CF and LXU, you know, identical sector there, and both had a really nice move. And Jamie, with that being said, I think you could take it, buddy.
Very good. Let me grab the screen here. Okay, you should have eyes on my desktop.
I do.
All right, so as Andy was just pointing out, you know, the CF was a beautiful trade from Holley. And as Andy was also saying, LXU, same industry. So interestingly enough, don't forget about your similar tab down here. I got CF in the slot,
There you go.
and then we have LXU. Hey, and then we have a couple more here that would have worked out in the same time frame. You know, Holley getting into the CF about 20 minutes into the market there. So you can see here, UAN, that one would have worked out nicely as well. along with, let's see if most would have worked. Yeah, most would have worked as well. So just
Yep.
remember, quick
Right.
access, things in the same industry, that similar tab in the single stock window would have paid off handsomely today. Okay, so now let's get to the Holley trades. And boy, I've got these sorted by moderate. You can see what a nice little blotter it is. Interestingly enough, Andy, it was Grail that did all the work today. Grail's been a little sleepy from time to time, but boy, just came out swinging today.
Oh, that's right.
And when we talk about the Holley recap or do the Holley recap, we typically like to talk about, all right, is there any spread between conservative and moderate that we could have clipped out? Of course, in real time, this is what everything looked like towards the close. But we can make some decisions when we see the AI exiting in its conservative mode. Typically, if the trade's working and the chart doesn't look just awful, well, then you can take a little bit more risk and hope to glean a little bit more. So in the CF trade right here, not a massive spread between what Holley clipped out in conservative mode and moderate, maybe another $34 or so. But what I would like to point out on this one is the excellent add opportunity that presented itself, as we can see up here. Holley calling it right here at the 51.93 level. Then about 15:30, right at the beginning, about 45 minutes later, right at the beginning of this candle, what do we have going on up here? We got a beautiful, nice, tight little wedging opening range break. So this would have been a great time to add to that position. And you can see what the stock did for the rest of the day. Just a nice slow grind up. Beautiful trade, beautiful entry with a very nice add opportunity behind it as well. So just all kinds of good stuff from the CF. And since we're talking about stocks in the same industry, let's go ahead and look at the LXU. Because while it took a little bit longer, it did also pretty much the same thing. Nice little buy signal right here, right at the $10 level, 9.98 to be exact. Then what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 45 minutes later, as this opening range is broken, a really nice add opportunity as well that would have gotten us the biggest move of the day. Okay, so great statistical viability coming here. Reclamation of the 10 period right here, leading up to that range break, and then boom, off to the races. So once again, not a huge spread here, but not only if we would have just kind of, well, the timed exit, she held that one till the end, and we just had what, 45 bucks additional spread there. But you really could have leveraged that trade with the add-on and the nice clean opening range break. Now Neuro, turns out the one with the biggest spread between conservative and moderate today was a little short. Depending on where you trade, this one might have been easy to borrow. Could have been on the hard to borrow too because of the market cap. If we take note down here, only a market cap of 67 million. So I know at E-Trade it was not shortable. Maybe over at Interactive Brokers it was. I haven't really asked around that much, but a sizable spread here between conservative and moderate. Holley getting a little bit nervous here after she makes the entry up here at the 1434 level. Don't really know why. Trade was working, and you can see closing it out at the end of that candle right there. But look what we have in the next candle over. It did throw a little bit of a wiggle, but not even 50% of the way. Well, we could call that about 50% away or through the stop area, but definitely not harrowing. I mean, could have stayed in with our hard stop. That's what they're for. But then, just like the add-on opportunities in LXU and CF, to the downside, we had the same pattern presenting itself. Staying in the trade because it's working, and then shorting more here. What was that level 2? Because 1434, and we bottomed out down here at 12, so that's a good 2 points and change. And then from this level here, 1364, we're looking at another point and change with the add-on here, being able to leverage that trade. Why? Because that secondary opening range breakdown just presented itself so nice and calmly, just like the upside ones did in CF and LXU. So some nice juicy spread in the Neuro, and a great time to add on to that position as well. So not huge spreads. We could say H pretty big spread here, big difference between making 0 and clipping out about 80 bucks. Everybody just keep in mind that the numbers that you see here are simply based around risking $100 per trade. So we didn't quite get a 1R out of H had we held it to the end. Of course, this was a late day trade. Holley didn't call this one until 1 o'clock right here. That's certainly a beautiful little bottoming wick there to give us a little bit of confidence that, well, the sellers tried to take control, but they couldn't do it. Holley gets out about right here, flats the trade. All we had to do is hold it for a little bit longer, another 45 minutes, and you could have gleaned some nice profits. Not quite a 1R, but better than 0. So some decent spread. 1, 2 really nice add-on opportunities in the bigger winning trades on the long side, and a beautiful add opportunity from Nero to the downside, which leaves only one category left, and that is a trade around. But we usually have to have a stop out, which we do have exactly one stop hit today. Now, notice how this thing reacted around the stop areas. You know, we had the original buy from Holley right up here. Red line, red number, 42.97, boom. Wicks right below it and then cranks back up 50 cents. So that would have been, you know, what we want to do here is see how the stock reacts around that stop area. If it would have just blasted through, had a couple of candles close below there, would have been no interest. But look how it just boomed. That stop area acted as a pivot point on the first try. Bounced about 50 cents, came back down here and did it one more time, the exact same level. Another little wick down here, and then this one was the really juicy one. If we just call this level 43, you know, by the time it was all said and done, biggest move of the day, except the, you know, that opening candle right there, which is pretty hairy. But two good trade around opportunities, both just wicking right off that stop area. Of course, this one being the biggest one at the end. So would have been a couple of really good scalps in there on the WMG based around that stop area. So Andy, I know you were probably going to talk about a couple of those. Did you get all that out of the way, or were there a couple here that you wanted to
No, I just
talk
kind of
about
wanted
further
to,
detail?
yeah, I just wanted to point out those two fertilizing companies that if you'd have been, you know, paying attention there, that second one that came through would have been a no-brainer. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's probably not a bad habit to get into when you see a trade working with Holley. Just come down here and check out the similars, see if you can pick up some sympathy plays.
Hmm. That's true.
All righty,
Uh,
sir. I'll kick it back over to you.
yeah, for some reason I'm not. It's not allowing me to type in there. Anyway, Mike C. Volume doesn't lie. I see you have a copy of that. I must have shared that with you a long time ago because I know I haven't shared it recently. I just pulled it up for the first time in years. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna play with that and see what I can do with it because it does every now and then come out with some incredible picks. So I'm gonna see if I can re-optimize it. All right, let's have looked at it recently, Andy. Okay, all right. Okay, what I'm trying to see. Oh yeah, Ride, guys. Okay, so Ride was the trade of the week, and you know we can't let these things ride forever. Go, you know, just hang out there forever, and then you know a week later, you know, fire off. So we usually give it 3 days, you know, before we'll call it, you know, we'll cancel the live trade. That doesn't mean, guys, it's not a good trade if you set an alert and it goes off. I mean, Ride was a beautiful. It was setting up beautiful, and this is what I liked about it, guys. First, let's look at. I'm always looking for relative strength. Okay, here's the market, right? The last couple of days since we called Ride on this day, ugly gap down. Didn't go anywhere this day. Actually finished lower, and then yesterday was an okay day. But look what Ride was doing the whole time. It was, we'd like to call this the little bird in the hand, okay? Even though if you look at the long-term picture, it's very ugly. It's in a downtrend, but still, okay, it had bounced up on this day right here on some news. Can't quite remember what that news was. And then it had pulled back and had found its 10-period moving average, and this thing was holding it for a couple of weeks here. So that's what we say a little bird in the hands. See how that 10-period moving average is now kind of sloping up and kind of cupping it underneath and not letting it fall below. This is one where I actually bought it yesterday on this pullback down here. You know, I think my first entry was, you know, around 670, 675 or something like that. I was just getting a half a position here because I liked the way it was holding up. And then of course at the open, the way it took off, I'd added to it. But you know, I just don't take these things off the radar. I mean, because that was still a beautiful little setup there. And even though, like I said, it's been ugly over the last several months, in this short time frame, it was showing relative strength. In other words, it was outperforming the market by a long ways. Even though it wasn't going up, it was not going down with the market. Okay, people were accumulating and buying, whatever you want to call it. So I hope some of you guys still were able to participate in that move today. Yeah, I'll share this layout. You're going to have oh gosh, it's going to be a mess right now because I have a bunch of windows. Let me do this. See if I got a copy over here somewhere. Let's see, maybe Andy's layout. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it hadn't changed much since this right here. As a matter of fact, I don't think it's shared. It has changed at all. So I'll drop it into the chat window of your GoToWebinar interface, guys. So call it Andy's layout. You're welcome, Mark. Now the sector analysis window down here, this is going to need a symbol list with it. Let me just drop that in there too. Oh, hold on just a minute. Symbol list, ETFs, edit list, and let me just copy these. I'm gonna drop these in there because you're gonna have to make the symbol list and you're gonna have to paste these into your symbol list. Okay, and should be able to drag and paste, copy that. All right, got that out of the way. Now we wanted to move on to Barry's new window. And you know, if you're new to trade ideas, you're a momentum trader or you like the action, you know, I think I can think of a couple of windows, you know, that I'd recommend, but this Barry's watch list is probably one of the most favorite. Now it used to have Barry's watch list up, Barry's watch list down, and then they had it with Barry watch list repeating. That it'll continue to show you, you know, it doesn't have a don't repeat filter on it. It just continues showing new highs and new lows as it hit, and this will show the new lows as well. Okay, but we took out the Barry watch list lows and we added these two right here, the moving higher with unusual strong option volume and moving lower with unusually strong option volume. And we've been finding a lot of good ones on that. A lot of the traders here at Trade Ideas, and I'm sure a lot of the traders in the room are doing the same thing. So if you haven't been going in the room and you're not aware of this, these windows that Barry likes to use, we made it easy for you. We just put it into the channel bar, so the docked channel bar. So you would have this, and all you need to do is just go. Let me just close this and show you what you need to do. Just go to New, go to Dock Channel Bar. Okay, everybody has this, and just click on Barry's watch list, and now you have everything in a nice little package for you. So you can, you know, some people don't like using dock windows, and I understand. You can always pop these windows out, just duplicate here. You can duplicate into a free floating window and make it into, just create it and put it into your own default layout that you have. But for those of you who like the dock windows, this is a nice little feature. So anyway, yeah, pay attention to these. So we got, now you got Barry's watch list up, you got Barry's watch list repeating. That will still show you the downward ones on his watch list. So it's kind of redundant to have the lows in there. So we removed the lows and we just put these two option windows in there. So I think it's a great little dock channel. So take a look at it, guys. I think you'll like it. All right. what was my other topic, man? Oh yeah, strength alerts. Taking a look at the strength alerts today. Now, let's face it, the market, since we launched this product, the market has been kind of sloppy. Even though it's been, trending higher, it's still pretty messy. And it does make it difficult when to enter these, is what I'm saying is, but I think you should definitely keep them on your radar, because this is mostly for longer term swing trades and not day trades, although you can find some pretty good day trades anywhere. But I just want to go over some of these from this week. Remember, this came out on Monday, this day right here, on a down day, and all these have performed. They're not killing it, as far as these are not typically your big momentum trades. These are steady movers that will over time will perform very well. There's relative strength here. But Etsy, not a bad one. This is setting up for a possible another move, close to, not far from, well, all-time highs is over here, but it's got a nice little ledge right here. If it gets above the month high, could have a nice little run to it. NTRA was down today, but from Monday, still holding on above, well above its Monday morning opening. FND, there's your Monday, performing very well, and look at this, close to all-time highs. So these are relative, strong stocks compared to the overall market. Okay, this is far from not taking out yesterday. It seems like it hit it. So very strong chart there. And once again, even though this in position in lifetime range is not very good, it's still positioned in year range. It's very close to a year high. $7 stock, relatively strong compared to the market. You're going to find a lot of these are going to be, even though like the market are below their 10, 20 moving average, a lot of these are going to be showing relative strength, which are going to be above. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention. So even if you are mostly a momentum trader, you're not looking for stuff like this, everybody probably has some sort of long-term account. These are ones that you might want to keep an eye on. And I was going to mention too, don't feel like you have to chase highs, wait for it to go to highs. A lot of these can be bought when the market looks, the market is selling off and you can catch these, below a moving average. I don't find a real good example today because we did have that big gap down on Monday, but look how Etsy held its 20 period. It's been holding it now for some time. Maybe a buy on the 20 period right there would have been good. Anyway, I'm not going to beat this into death, but I just wanted, for those who are looking for value, not value, but looking for relative strength, this is a very good, and we do have the relative strength. Let me just go ahead and pull that up, the doc channel, so you guys can pull it up, the channel bar. So if you want to just occasionally, maybe on Monday mornings would be a good time, because that's when the list is going to update. Just go into, let me see if I can find it here. I don't even remember what the symbol looks like, Jamie. I'm sure I went right past it. Swing ideas? No, that's not it. It's, gosh, I said silly.
It's the Batman thing.
Yeah, the Batman thing. Yeah. Okay, you're gonna get a welcome screen, guys. It kind of just tells you a little bit about how it works and what to look for and things like that. Just kind of some instructions to go along with it. And then you can have the TI strength alerts in here. You got the TI strength lows and versus highs. So, maybe you can me personally, I'd be looking at the low side, look at these things when they're hitting lows to see if they're marrying up to any moving average. And then we got crossing 50 over 200-day moving archived in here. Okay, these are archived. So this will have all the ones since we launched the product, I'm assuming. So that could be interesting. All right, guys, let's move on to the price alerts. And not too good, but you know what, guys, I'm not surprised. Once again, looking at the market we have lately, it's not a market you can stay in any direction for very long. What happened to them? There they are. All right. I think the big winner was a mistake I made, because I think Bob T, when he called out Nugget, he was wanting to go long, and I forgot to change the short to a long. So Bob, if we would have shorted the Nugget, I think we'd have done very well. You'd have been up 1250, a little over 12%. But other than that, yeah, it was pretty bad. I think the big winner, if we're going to be honest, because Bob T would really be down 12%, would be KJ with LAC. And it's only up about 2%. So this goes to show you the market we're dealing with right now, guys. And this is why I said, and it's been like this for a while, guys. We come in here every now and then, we have a couple of good ones, and then we have a whole lot of bad ones. And I think this is a good exercise, and I'm glad we play this game, because it will help you to. For me, I've been trading long enough. I know if I'm going long right now, I'm not going to stay in a trade very long. That's just me personally. I don't want to sit through the ebbs and flows of the market right now. I look for my setups, look for a move, and I'm usually banging out pretty quick. Even though it might not, be a day trade, it more than likely it's probably not going to be longer than a couple of days. But when you see a lot of people in here that I know are good traders, and obviously, guys, I know you wouldn't let stocks, the market fall apart and you'd sit in this, but I'm just saying how difficult it's been for us to get winners over the last 6 weeks to 2 months. It's been tough. So just keep that in the back of your mind, when you're taking these trades. Maybe if you're accustomed to staying in trades a week to 10 days or whatever, maybe you want to pull that back to 3 or 4 days, just or keep your stops tight. If you get some profits, maybe raise your stop up. Assure that you're going to get profits, and not let those turn into a loser. All right. There you go. KJ right there. He had taken, so he had a nice move. There's your alert right there. Okay. And the stock went all the way up to 24 and a half. That's some good profits there. Basically a 10% move. And hey, had he not taken it, what would have happened? He would have, on this day right here, he would have been either punching out for a flat or taking a loser. And even right now, it's only up from where his alert was, 2%. So good trading, KJ. Let's see what Rich says here. Hi, Jamie. My job restricts me from trading any instruments unless I hold them from, minute 30 days.
Yeah, that's pretty harsh. But what I was thinking, Andy, is the high options volume windows. I mean, obviously the options are trading very actively as well as the common. So that might be a workaround for him.
Yeah, you might look for big volume plays. Like Jamie was saying, that high option, I find some really good ones in my extreme volume high-low pro. These are ones that are taking off on big volume, and a lot of time they have a continuation move behind them. So you want something with a very clean breakout and probably doing volume, because if you're
I mean, I wonder if he said any instrument, so that means if he trades an option, he still has to hold it for 30 days. So that's that kind of complicates things, for a stock trade or an option trade. Yeah,
especially for somebody like me, my max. Well, it's not always the case. If we get a big sell-off, which I'm hoping for, I hate to say this, but I wouldn't mind a good, nice 25 to 30% sell off in the market, because those are the times, when you catch, I don't want to say catch a bottom, but when you have a big correction and some of these stocks that you've been wanting to buy for so long, but you just don't want to chase, in the stratosphere up here, chase these things. That's when you probably want to start taking positions, and start, especially if you have to hold them for 30 days, it's just, this is not a point in the marketplace where I'd want to do that. It's just, feeling very toppy right now, and we've come a long ways, and it just seems like we're just on fumes right now. But yeah, I don't know what kind of system you're in. Where I've never heard of that, where you have to hold a stock for 30 days. I mean, if the market's crashing, I mean, they're going to force you to hold it for 30 days. I don't know. Maybe find another broker or another. It must be a job thing.
Yeah, I was aware,
Yeah,
you know, you had to report
yeah.
all
I
your
hate
trades and
financial
all that,
services.
but I didn't know you had to hold for 30 days these days.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. That's harsh. Yeah.
mhm.
All right, so let's do this. Let's guys, get your picks ready. We're gonna do some price alerts again. And hey, I I would be disappointed if I maybe didn't see a few shorts in here. And just maybe try a few shorts. I shall erase these so we don't get them confused. And you guys start firing away at will. Here's the rules. Okay, give me a price. All right, and a trigger. And I'm going to assume it's a long unless you tell me it's a short. Okay, so all I need is a symbol and a price. Unless you want it to be a short, just notify me. Let me know that it's a short. Okay, KJ likes MRN, MRI. I've seen that recently. Okay, yeah, that looks like something I would have seen recently. Jamie knows how I like to look for these bottoming patterns. All right, you're looking at MRIN at 1016. And I'm assuming, yeah, that's going to be a long. That is KJ. All right, we got Toast. Oh, it's going with a new issue here, huh? Long from 50. Okay, so Neo is going to look for a pullback and go long at 57.25. All right, I don't even know if I can get there. We go. I'll make sure I switch this short to long. 57.25. We're going to go long, and this is Neo. Okay, and then we got long net at 136. And that is from Robert. Robert Van. We're just going to put a Robert V in there.
Hey, and Andy, we look back up there, David Bernier. He wants
Okay. Did I miss
CERS at 670.
CRS?
CERS.
That's
There
long
you
at
go.
670. Oh, yeah, okay. That's a strong chart. I'm sorry, what was the name? David, you said, what was the name again?
David, yeah, David
Okay.
Bernier.
Okay. I can spell. All right. All right. We got net docu. Short below 263.90. Okay, I get that's looking like a weak stock there. So 263.90, and that's Daniel. And that was a short, right? Yeah. Okay, DLO 66.75. Yeah, that's looking pretty sweet. That's Jim. All right, Dave Fontaine. Since we're holding for 2 weeks, yeah, 2 weeks. He's got a new strategy out. He's gonna go team at 410. Yeah, it's kind of a long one, but we'll kind of look at it like we did with KJs to see, you know, how I should have looked at more of them. I'll do that next time. Make sure I look at more of them. And that is Dave. Wait, why is it showing me? Oh gosh, it's trading at 412 right now, buddy. I can't. Let me. I don't know. I'll go 412.50. Unless you want to change it. Do you want to do it on the pullback? Okay, 412. I'll go 412 since it's going to trigger if I do 412. So we'll do 412, 1210. If it triggers after that, then we'll just give it to you. All right. Ride at 735 on a pullback. I'm assuming that's long. And you change that to a long. And who was that? Walt. Walt sticking with the trade of the week. Walt S. Uber. Uber was strong the other day. There's one where it's definitely, that's some great relative strength there. And he's going with Uber at 45.50. It's trading there. I tell you what, I'll go 45.60 here. George. DVAX. Oh yeah, I got an alert set in DVAX somewhere. Oh, it triggered too. Dang it, I missed it this morning. Dang. Look at it, barely touched it in the early morning. And I was busy probably looking at Ride at the time. See, that's the thing you do. You set these, when it was trading up here at 20, I said, I'm not gonna chase it up here. I put an alert here and man, it just, when you have 5 or 6 of them going off early in the morning, that's what it makes it difficult. But we are gonna put it at 21 for a breakout. And that is Martin. And we got Box at 40, 23.40 on a pullback long. Okay, there you go. I see where you're lining up down here near the 20 period. That's sometimes those are the great trades. And actually, like the DVAX I was showing you guys, some of my best trades, I'm serious. Instead of putting a price alert down there, just go ahead and I'd put a bid. I just bid it, you know, a couple hundred, just get in the game. Make sure, you know, sometimes when instead of putting the price alerts, I mean, you got to be careful if like the whole world's falling apart. But Box, and that is David. Wait, what happened? I forgot the, well, let me see. Did I go ahead and close it without, did I put his name in there? Nope, I didn't. So let me do this again. 23.40. Wait. All right. Looks like that is all. I'll give you guys, in case you're going to drop something another 5 or 10 seconds, and then what I'll do is I'll get these and I'll share those. But we got a pretty good grouping in here if I can find them. There we go. There's that box in between there. So you guys are going to get me to delete this one. Gosh, why do you got to jump around on me, man? Somebody got in there. Somebody got catfish in there. Okay, and this is Jim. You already got one. I already put you down for one. Are you trying to change it on me? You got you in there for DLO. Okay, just another idea. Okay, I'll keep it. I'll go ahead and mark it just for my own good if it gets above that high there. All right, let me go ahead and share these. No. Share. Copy all, and I'll drop them, guys, into the chat window here. You guys grab these because there's some pretty good ones out there. Price alerts. And there you go. And good luck to everybody. And like I said, 2 weeks, but trust me, if the market does something crazy, we'll definitely see how it looked a week ago. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your participation in this game and all your great questions today. And let's bring Scott in here, and you guys hang on, and he'll walk us out and offer you guys a coupon on the way out.
Yeah, thank you. Couple items on the way out. Make sure you have the strategy indicators ebook before we replace it with our next one whenever we publish that. Just go to trade-ideas.com/strategy and get the free download. It's got advice from our director of software development, Dave Mabe, who created Holley and the backtesting module, all that kind of good stuff. So he's got some insight for you. It's free, so you should grab it. There's also a new product, our strength alerts. For only $17 a month, you get an email every Sunday night with 5 trades. If you like trade of the week, then you're gonna love this. And it's got different trade options than the trade of the week. Just go to trade-ideas.com/strength to learn more. If you have any questions, email us info@trade-ideas.com. That goes to our help desk, gets you the help you need as quickly as possible. You can also find Jamie on Twitter at QuantBot. Find us at Trade Ideas. Our Steve Gomez is TI Steve G. And we can be found on Twitter at Trade Ideas Pro, facebook.com/Trade Ideas Pro. The recording of this session will be up later on tonight or tomorrow. So stay tuned tomorrow for an email from GoToWebinar with a link to the playlist where you can find it. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Jamie. Have a nice one.
All right, thanks everybody. I'll see some of you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.